All right, we're going to talk some Dragon Gate USA in a moment, but I'm going to preface that with the TNA review.
I was just going to bring this up because I had to watch this show, and ordinarily if we skip a show, I really don't care, but I had to sit through the show. I may as well talk about it now.
What?
Here is the biggest key to this pay-per-view.
Which one are you even talking about?
The TNA pay-per-view?
I see.
Yes. Here is the key to this thing. By now, I'm sure you've all heard about Sting beating Jeff Hardy in 1 minute in the main event, and everything going on with that. That was not close to the worst match on the show. There were several matches that would have been better had they gone 90 seconds at mostly non-action. This was a god-awful. This is not a good show ruined by a bad main event, or even an on-the-fence show that could have been saved with a good main event. This show sucked up and down, and then had a shitty main event to cap it off.
Yeah,
that's my initial review of the whole thing. Second of all, like a month ago, it may have been this exact same match actually. No, Velvet was involved, but there was a women's tag match on Impact that I said was going to be the worst match of the year, and you said no, Velvet and Savita in a singles match would be worse, and you were wrong about that.
That is true.
But I was also wrong, because the women's tag match on this pay-per-view was so much worse than that women's tag match on Impact. I could not believe how bad this was. I'm actually offended that any of those women may have been paid. This was fucking embarrassing.
Let's look at the star ratings I gave on this show.
Okay.
For those that haven't read the newsletter, you should probably read it right now. I gave a 1.75 stars to Bully Ray and Tommy Dreamer.
I did not know how to rate this, and it was funny as I am not the only one who I've seen say that. It's a silly, cartoony, hardcore weapons brawl in 2011. What do you want?
1.75 stars.
Yeah.
Angelina and Winter against Sarita and Rosita for the Knockouts title, -3 stars.
I went -3.5.
Wow. An extra half star?
An extra half star of hate. And I will say also that when Angelina and Serena rolled outside, many things about this are terrible, but they seriously had the worst brawl I've ever seen. They threw one punch, and then they just sat there on their knees looking at each other.
Yeah. Hernandez and Matt Morgan, First Blood, -1 star. And that was largely just for the finish.
I agree. That was probably a 1-star match with a -2 star finish. That brought it down to I actually gave that the same rating you did. But yes, that's 2 negative star matches on the show. And that may have been the worst match, worst finish I ever saw.
2.75 for an Ultimate X match.
And again, we're on the same page. That's exactly what I did.
Beer Money Inc. for the titles, 3 stars.
Yeah, I only went 2.5. I don't remember why. It's been.
I thought it was a good match.
It probably was.
AJ and Matt Hardy, I gave 3.25. So Matt Hardy can rest easy that he did in fact have the best match on the show.
He did actually, yes. I think I went 3, but yes, that was the best match. And then we had Ken Anderson and Rob Van Dam.
Why don't I have a star rating for that one?
You may have run out of negative stars. This is the match where Anderson fucked up a headlock takeover. And then later, he fucked up the taking a leapfrog.
All I wrote is another negative star match.
Yes.
I just did not have a number.
I went -2.5. It was worse than Hernandez and Morgan, not as bad as the women's tag. But yes, that's our 3rd negative star match. And it led to the awesome chant of, restart the match. No! Restart the match. No!
Yeah.
And then we had Jeff Hardy versus Sting.
Listen, if you want my thoughts, just read the newsletter. I I poured my soul into that review. I cannot repeat it here. Suffice to say, -5 stars.
Yes.
It's a rare match that gets -5 stars.
I would agree with -5 stars with how they got there and what it means going forward.
This
Match
rating
itself,
was about everything about it.
yes.
Not just the match,
It's
the
not,
finish.
You're not rating it bell to bell.
No.
You're rating what's happened really for years.
What has led to this
Yes.
this debacle? -5 stars for everything about this.
Yes. And I did not give that match a rating. It was certainly negative stars. I will just rate that match. Fuck them.
You know, to be fair, to be perfectly fair, I probably should have given it -4.5, just because Sting was not responsible in any way for this bullshit.
No, that's true.
It was not his fault. So, way to go, Sting. Always being a professional, unlike some other people. A disaster.